What's going on, y'all? Lady Nika, thank you for coming back to the channel. Hold on, this damn light. Okay, I hope y'all can see me. Shit. Anyway, I know you probably wasn't expecting a video from me tonight, and I wasn't expecting to get one. It's just I had some shit on my mind, so I just said, hell, this is what this channel is designed for. So I came on in here and just wanted to have some just general talk. You know, when you spend a lot of time by yourself, you think a lot. Shit. I was by myself, so I was sitting here thinking about some shit. So, we're going to talk about it. First thing I want to talk about was a couple years ago. Well, it really wasn't a couple years. Well, 2 years ago, okay. I was privileged to go to a gentleman friend of mine's family reunion. And, I came in, you know, got to, you know, I knew some of the family, but, you know, I didn't know all of them. So, you know, I was being introduced here and there. And I ended up sitting with some of the old heads. You know, I love sitting around older people because they have a knowledge base like no other, you know. I like to hear the stories. I like to hear, you know, their thoughts about how things go. You know, how things are today opposed to what was back in their time. So, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to him, and in came a lady with 3 little girls. Well, it was 2 little girls, and, well, they looked like they had to be around, like, the first one was around maybe 7 or 8. Maybe the other one was maybe 9 or 10. They were like stair steps, but then the oldest one was like 17. And, she came in, and, you know, I later came to find out that that was one of the cousins of a deceased brother. It was the old heads that were sitting there. And, child, next thing I know, what I had been introduced as another one of the younger cousins walks in the room, and he sees this girl, and they got this booty look on their damn face. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, what you doing here? And she was like, this is my family reunion. He was like, no, this is my family reunion. Well, long story short, found out they've been, you know, Facebooking and texting and talking, and, you know, it wasn't out and out said, but I get the impression that maybe they had become physical with each other at some point. And, so, you know, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell going on here. What the hell is, you know? Because in my head, I'm thinking, they fucking cousins, okay? And, they explained to him what the situation was, and shit, these people act like they really, like, it wasn't nothing. Like, you know, in my family, I probably would have been turning the fuck up. Like, what the hell? What all have y'all, you know, I'd have been digging. I'd have been getting some information, but they just seemed to left it alone. So I continue to sit there with the old heads, and I hear them say things like this. You know, well, it wasn't no kids made of it, so we're not going to worry about it. And then I hear another one say, well, you know, well, I won't say nobody's name, but, you know, one of the other family members did, in fact, marry another family member, and they have 2 kids together, too. While I was there, I also heard that, you know, there had been some molestation going on in the family, too, that apparently swept under the rug. No one talks about it. But you could, during my stay there, I was pretty much able to tell who, you know, having been a victim of molestation at a young age myself, I can tell, you know, simply by body language alone, you know, who could have possibly been doing what to whom, okay? So, as I was sitting here tonight, I was thinking, you know, I remember growing up hearing what happens in this house stays in this house. And as I become an adult and have my family of my own, I don't subscribe to that. I don't understand that, because what if what's happened in this house is hurting me? I'm supposed to just sit here and just say nothing? What is it in us, especially us black people, who, I know the white people probably do that too, but I can only bring you a perspective from who I am, and I'm a black woman. But I've heard that in my own family before. What happens here stays here. And I don't think what happens here should always stay here. Because sometimes things need to be said. Sweeping stuff under the rug don't never resolve a problem. You just put a Band-Aid on it forever. But nothing that's covered up ever heals. So why do we do that? You don't know how a person's life may be impacted because we did keep something under the covers. You understand what I'm saying? I sometimes think that had I dealt with the molestation that I dealt with personally growing up, with my stepfather, maybe if I hadn't, maybe if it wasn't a swept under the rug type of thing, maybe I wouldn't have grown up with some of the emotional problems that I've had, It does something to you when your stepdad is coming in trying to teach you how to French kiss, or, trying to rub on your breasts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It does something to you as you grow up and become an adult. So I was just wondering, why do we always want to keep stuff covered? Nothing's ever resolved or healed by keeping it covered up. Sometimes you need to discuss that. Most times you need to discuss what it is that's going on in your family or what you've experienced. I don't think that it's ever wise to, if it's something that causes you any type of discomfort, I think it's worth having a discussion with whoever the culprit is or someone that you can trust. We do that a lot. Don't say nothing about what's going on in my house. You know what I'm saying? I know personally growing up, I used to be privy to the fact that some of my neighbors' husbands would kick their motherfucking ass. But when they got out in public, you couldn't tell. I mean, you could tell by looking at her, because back then, I've seen couples where he kicked her ass, she got a black eye, the next day we act like we don't see that shit. Because that's the way it was. You don't open your mouth about another person's business. But is that really the right way to go? How many women are dead because they didn't want to tell somebody what was going on? Or somebody knew about it in the family and just said nothing? Are we truly not our brother's keeper? That reunion, that was the most dysfunctional place I've probably ever been in my entire life, because all I saw the entire 2.5 hours I spent there was how dysfunctional they are, really, because they think that this is normal. They've done this so many generations that it's okay. Yeah, you stopped this here from going on because it's out in the open. We all witnessed the fact that this boy came upon this girl and they've been talking, cheating, and possibly even having sex with each other. So now, that's all the family mixing in there. So of course you're going to step in and try to make it, right there and get it understood. But then 10 minutes later, as you're sitting in your private area where we were sitting, you basically letting on that this is not something new to the family. And what alarms me is that people are made, it goes on so many generations, people start to believe that that's okay. That is not okay. There is nothing normal about having a relationship beyond a family-based relationship with your relatives. It is nothing normal about any member of your family molesting another member. That shit is not okay. And I don't give a damn. I've told my children from day one, the reason why you don't see me, because my kids used to ask me all the time, because like I told y'all, pre-lupus, I used to, and I even today, and it shocks me, what the hell they be after me for now, but, pre-lupus, a lot of guys will come on to me. A lot of guys will come on to me, y'all. And I just was the type of woman, because I came from that situation, I was afraid to bring men around my children. So I pretty much closed myself off to that type of bullshit. It wasn't that I didn't want to go out with Johnny or, go to the movies with Tim, or it wasn't that any part of my female anatomy was dead either. It was just the idea that I felt like when I told my grandmother what was going on, something should have been done to protect me from that. But I was told to be quiet, and just stick around her. But I can't stick around you 24. I got to go to bed. We don't sleep in the same room. I have my own room. He comes in my room. You're not up all night to protect me, and why should you be? And the reason why, another reason why I was told to be quiet, because after my parents had passed away, and I hope, let me just stop a minute and say this. I made this channel, and I ain't in my feelings about to cry, none of that, y'all. My contacts is jacked the fuck up, so bitch had to put on some glasses. But anyway, I was told to be quiet because A, we don't want to let everybody know what's going on in the family, and B, because this is the first man that has come along since your dad that has really been a helpmate to your mom and made her smile and make her happy. Okay, when all you want to do at the age of 8 and 9 is make your mother proud and make her happy, of course you're going to be quiet about it. I suffered in silence for many years until she died. My mother never knew. I sat there every day acting like nothing was wrong. And I thought that once I got away from him, everything would be okay. I would move forward. But I didn't, y'all. I didn't. I had a hard time. I've had a hard time with men. Trusting them. Believing them. After I had children, letting them around my kids. My children are 25. My twins are 22. And of course, y'all know my 17-year-old. And to this day, I'm still nervous about anybody that comes to that door looking for me. And there's a man. So I pretty much don't do too much inviting into my house because I've always had that fear. I know what it's like to grow up and, have a lot of shit going on in your life and then have this man over here. You can't even rest at night because you don't know which night he's going to come and try to do something to you or touch you in some kind of way. I never in hell wanted my children to ever know what that feeling was going to be like. And I have pretty much lived my life making sure that they don't. No matter what they may say that they did have going on, one thing for certain they can never say is that I never allowed them to have their innocence compromised like mine was. And I'm not even mad at my grandmother or my mother today because they come from a generation where you just don't talk about it, And that's sad that we live that way. And I think also that, and follow me on this if you will, there's a lot of undiagnosed mental illness in the black community. Do y'all sometimes think that maybe, because this is the kind of shit I was thinking about today, maybe a part of that may be something that happened in their childhood that was pretty much swept under the rug, and as they grew up, they didn't have the support team or be able to pay for the support team like I was able to do, to be able to deal with what they were feeling on the inside. So maybe that anger manifested itself in another kind of way. You know, if pressure will bust a pipe, imagine what pressure would do to the human brain. And they don't know that they ill because it's taboo in the black community to go to the doctor unless your ass is fucked up. Then somebody gonna go to the doctor. But we always try to stick a band-aid on it and make the shit right. You know, I just wonder sometimes, you know, is that why some people are the way that they are? Is because something happened to them in their childhood and they didn't have an outlet like I did. My outlet became, I went inside of myself before I was able to afford, help for what I was going through. And when I say go inside myself, I live for me. You know, in my head, I blocked out a lot of stuff that was going on. And that's why I can't share a lot of my early childhood. At least, well, anything before 13 is kind of hard for me because I blocked a lot of stuff out just to be able to, y'all, my damn head is itching. I watched it today. Oh, my God. I blocked a lot of stuff out, you know what I'm saying, because I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't know how to process that. How do you process at 8 years old, 9 years old? Your mother has finally met a man that treats her like a queen. You know, she happy, she's smiling. This man's putting her through school, helping her see her dreams come true. But at the same time, this is the same man that's touching you in ways that he shouldn't be touching you. And you go to the only source that you have in your home. And don't get me wrong, I love my grandmother to this day. That's my heart. R.I.P. her. But my grandmother was born in 1915 and she still had that mentality. We don't talk, we don't tell. We act like it's not a problem. But it is a problem. You understand what I'm saying? It's a problem. Failure to tell people exactly what's going on sometimes will lead to your other generations to come going through a whole lot of stuff that they shouldn't have to go through. I mean, you have young ladies out here don't understand why they have such major trust issues with men, why they turn to other women, why do they feel incomplete because they don't know, anything about their total heritage. They don't know anything about their lineage. And it all starts off with that family that wants to keep everything hidden and hushed. Life is full of ups and downs. Okay? And I'm a firm believer that nothing is put on you that you can't handle. Stop putting a Band-Aid over a bruise that will only heal when you let it out to breathe. Put an end to that. What happens in this house stays in this house. Because if what happened in that house is hurting somebody, somebody needs to tell somebody. You know? I don't know at what point will we realize that hiding, keeping shit under the rug does not help. It doesn't help us now or later. Because there are things that can be done. There are alternatives and steps toward a more healthier lifestyle, whatever it is that's going on that's not right for you. Anything that makes you that uncomfortable can't be a healthy lifestyle. Habit. Anyway, like I said, I was just sitting here in thought tonight about several things, and I felt like I would just come on, and I don't even know what the hell I'm going to call this, but it's just, just thoughts that was on my mind tonight about how we as a generation are so quick, us as a creed. Why are we so quick to want to hide things? And to my white viewers, if I have any, this may still, go on in your community and same rules apply. I only brought it to you this way because I'm an African American and I can only speak on what I truly know of. And I know this goes on in my community because I've witnessed it firsthand in my family and others' families. That's all I got to say about it, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share my video with someone. Until the next video, have a beautiful night. Peace.